Alright, this video will show how to crack PowerISO, the newest version of it. It's the version 8.8. It's from April. And the reason why I'm doing these videos is because I got a little bit, disappointed and angry because there are a lot of people just sharing bullshit on the internet, pretending to, crack PowerISO, some version of it, to then just do a nice little cut and then insert a key they got from the internet, and that way are spreading just false information, which is always very annoying if you really just want to learn stuff, know stuff, or just you are just curious on how to really apply stuff, not even in a bad way, but often the resources on reverse engineering in general are limited, and for cracking as well, of course. But in my opinion, cracking is a very important thing to ensure software security, because often companies aren't able or just don't want to pay for third-party protectors like unprotected or other stuff like Temida or I don't know what. So it's always important to know what your vulnerabilities of your software are. And I think it's very important to know just some basics. This video will be really basic, because PowerISO is not protected at all. It has no obfuscation. It's not packed. It's simple to read. It's just the software with a very, very simple key generation, key registration scheme. But in this video, I won't show how to write a key gen or stuff like that. I will just show how to really crack the software and make it function to remove the 300 megabyte limit. And while doing that, I would like to try to explain as much as possible, obviously for educational purposes only. If you like the software, of course, buy the software. That's always what I think. And yeah, it's the thing is, it's probably no problem if I share this knowledge, because really the software is cracked through. You can find simple keys in GitHub repositories and I don't know what, so it will really make a difference. So I will just show how to do this here, and maybe you can apply the knowledge you get from here to do some nice things. Yeah. That being said, I would like to start now. And first things first, always what you should do is drag PowerISO or the application you are going to reverse in Detected Easy. It will show the most known signatures, and in this case we ain't got a signature at all. For any obfuscator, no VM protect, nothing known, and you will directly notice if there's something strange going on in your executable. So we can close this out now, and it says C++, and what we can also try is just Resource Hacker, which is a nice tool to get some resources out of the file. And as you can see, not even the resources are encrypted. It's just, you can literally just see the dialogues the application uses. So with that information, we can directly start. And I'm going to concentrate on the annoying purchase reminder pop-up at the beginning and the 300 megabyte limitation. I think those are both the most annoying limitations, and I think the only different thing is, let's see, yeah, it asks us, let's just, okay. So the 300 megabyte limitation is of course there. I will just show you what that is and how to trigger this, and then this button here, and this button here. I don't know even what this does, but that's pretty much it. So there's not any other restriction here. Just add, let's just add a pretty big file. Obviously, it's about over 300 megabytes. Not add, sorry, save as ISO file on the desktop, for example, and then we will get the annoying pop-up that this is not possible. Oh yeah, it's in German, but it literally states that you cannot create ISO images bigger than 300 megabytes. Simple as that. So let's close this out and have a look on how to crack this thing. So just launch it in x64 debug, and what you will very often see is just people doing simple string searches. So let's go into the entry point. Now we're at the entry point. People just do all user modules, string references. And the first thing people do is just search for unregistered, I don't know, registered to, and then they think, yay, I found something nice, cool, let's use this, and I don't know what. It won't help you, it's just distracting. Let's concentrate and focus on the real things we would like to do. And as I've already shown, this application obviously uses dialogues. That's just from experience you get from taking a look at multiple applications, and as I've said, it uses dialogues, and there are just a few little API calls which you can use to display dialogues. So just search for user modules, enter modular calls. And again, the application does not use any anti-debugging techniques. If it would, you just try around with Scylla, and if that is Scylla hide, and if that doesn't work, you would have to do manual research. But again, this application is very easy to crack, so there are no anti-debugging techniques involved here. So just search for dialog, and we get this here. Is dialog message W? Doesn't sound interesting. Map dialog rectangle, also not interesting, but this one looks good. Create dialog, that's exactly what we would like to take a look at. So we set a breakpoint here, run the program. We end up here. Again, this string, maybe people think they can interpret stuff in here. You can't. Toma is a font type, so it has nothing to do with anything we want to take a look at right now. So just really ignore the comments for now. Comments are only rarely useful if you are facing encrypted, virtualized applications. Then strings won't even appear anymore, or just very barely. You will, if there's obfuscation going on, you won't be able to do simple string searches and all that. So if you start to rely on strings, you won't get far. So I really highly recommend to don't even start. If you have enough knowledge, surely you can use them as simple help or assistance, but really don't rely on strings. That's probably one of the first things people do, and that's one of the first things that will drive people crazy, because they will just search and hope that they find something break somewhere without even knowing what's going on, and it will discourage you pretty quick because you obviously don't know what's going on. So this is the first break we have here, but still nothing to see. Continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we got the window. This completely normal window, but the dialog isn't here, and this is the dialog. On receive, we could search for a name, but this is I don't know. We will just take a look at the. This is very likely the call to display this annoying dialog. So let's continue. It won't break again, and we have this stupid dialog. So we start. We just until the window pops up, the main window. Yes, here. And this is when we have the problem with the purchase reminder. So take a look at the call stack. We are on the main thread. obviously, and take one up, look one up, break here, and we should only break here again if this purchase reminder dialog gets displayed. If we break here in any other situation, it's obviously not high enough up in the code stack. So continue running. Let's continue. Okay. If we take a look at enter registration code, we break here again. That's good. And if we add something, for example, archive, which for the 300 megabyte limit, we break here again, which shows that this is obviously not high enough up in the call stack. So this is pretty much bullshit. So we are not deep enough right now. So continue running. This is obviously bullshit. Also restart. I'll remove this one. And now we are here. And then we were right here right now. And we will take one more up, one function call in the call stack up. So this call here. All right, is this call? I don't know. It's this call. This call seems to be the one. Let's restart and let's see if we only break there if we end up in the dialog, and that's good. So that looks pretty promising. So again, let's see if we break here another time. If we, for example, open another dialog, continue without registration, yes, that's okay. Add risk, set rush, and we break at this one here again, that's okay, because it obviously I will just disable this breakpoint for now. But we didn't break at our breakpoint we set here at this call. So that looks promising. All right, so restart. And when I end up here, I press space to edit this assembly, and then I will just know of this. That should work. And make sure you tick fill with knobs so you don't fuck up the size of the instructions. So no up. Okay. Continue running. And we get this message box, which is also okay. But we can still add stuff. See? And again, always testing is a very important thing, because if you don't test your stuff, you will very, very likely end up breaking things, because you're obviously doing changes you are not intended to do. So everything can happen. But again, we still don't break. Save it as ISO file, and yeah, we get this pop-up. That's good. Okay. So this call looks very promising. So just keep this breakpoint here for now. All right. So right now we are at the call for this one, and we already searched for the user codes, and after we load up this one here, we get this message box which says that we cannot create ISO files bigger than 300 megabytes. So just again, take a look at the references, and for this call, it's often something with message box. It's always a message box. Those things which make this strange sound, an error sound, an information sound, a simple OK button just in it, or a cancel button, and just simple text. In 99% of the cases, this will be a message box call. So message box A is for displaying ASCII characters, W for white characters, and before we just try around too much, we'll just set a breakpoint on all those commands. Let me load up this one again, and then those are, you can remove this here. This is the create dialog box we already patched. So now continue, and you can directly see we break at message box W, which is good. And now, as I've said, if you know what you're doing, you can obviously use the comments and you can directly see calling convention. First parameter is RCX. So R14, I know this, or you can just search it up in the Windows API online. But first argument for message box W is the handle. So RCX, this is the handle for the main window. So it knows where to display the message box. RDX is the text. That's by calling convention the second argument. R8 is the third argument, and R9 is the fourth argument. And third argument is the title of the message box, and fourth argument is the type of message box. So if it's an error, if it does this error sound and displays a red X, or it's just the I for information and makes a different sound. So now have this as well. Run, and we see no pop-up, no message box, nothing at all. So let's see if we can still add our stuff and if everything still works as it should. And it looks pretty promising. So we didn't break anything right now. Save, and again, no, because yeah, I wouldn't, but you know, it breaks on the message box we have here again. So just removing this message box is not probably the best thing we did, because obviously we break again here. So this probably is just a message box handler. So it will display any messages, but that's okay. We can still keep this no opt. But obviously this happens exactly at the moment. This would now display that we cannot here. You can see the comments are not make the comment big enough. Let's like this. For this and the dump, and then you will see here that we cannot create bigger files than that. That's okay. So what we have here is we take a look at the code stack up again, and we see this here. And this is very likely the message box handler. So we will take a look one up, and here we are at that again. And what we are going to do now is we will take a look at if we can find anything which compares stuff and does a conditional jump. So take a look. Oops. And yeah, this one looks good. So here does a compare. It compares something with a constant, which is 12C0000. And if we do calculator, and if we type this in here, 12C0000. This is in decimal, this is a byte, so 314 megabytes. That's very, very, very likely to compare. How do I know this? It's just really, you know, this, you cannot always do it that fast. I know it because I already cracked it once a few years back, but that's just, if you wouldn't know that, you would just have to manually step through. And of course, this one there's no direct compare you would do. And since the 300 megabyte limit is hard coded in there, you obviously will have probably a constant. And if you don't have a compare, just like the one we had right here, I can't find it right now. That's so stupid. Maybe I need this now. Yeah. So if it wouldn't compare it just to a raw constant, it would probably have moved it first into EAX, RAX, I don't know what, and then do the compare. So this constant here will very, 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 very likely be somewhere in the code, so you can search for it. And if you can take a look at this here, JLE means jump if lower or equal. So if you don't know what the exact instruction means, you can just show Mnemonic, I don't know what how to spell this, but jump shot if less or equal. Yeah, lower, less, I don't know. So this one is obviously we end up if this, so RBX plus 50 very, very likely contains the size of our current packed archive, and if it's bigger, we won't do this jump, and then we end up in this bullshit stuff telling us that we have this limit. All right. So first thing I would do is just change this to a jump instruction, so we always jump over this. So let's do this. So we don't have trouble with this, and then yeah, obviously we will have to restart, and then do this. Nice. But again, I'm not really sure if this patching right here is good, because it could be that it will also eliminate helpful dialogues we would like to see. We will have to take a look at this later. But let's just run it. The file. Set brush. Add. Save as file. Yeah, it's already created here. So just save. We end up in here, and then we change this to a jump. So now it will press F8 to single step, and you will see it will jump over it. So let's continue. Let's disable this breakpoint so we can run smoothly, but in the end we just end up here again. So it seems like this is a compare to the size again, which is pretty annoying. But instead of just, again, this is the message box caller, then we have this here again. We were here before, and we have this here again, this here, and here we have the compare. But one thing we probably should do is let me see, right here. What we very likely should do is make a constant search for this constant, so to find all occurrences of this one. So search for constant. Can I just search for this? Find reference to constant. And we have this one here, move EAX, this, and then it does some stuff with it. Take a look at here. Move EAX, compare words, C machine X. Right. Then we take a look at this. Here we are already. Jump is greater. Then we don't want to jump here at all. So this is one of the codes we would like to patch. And I think the easiest thing we could do right now actually is just restart. Again, patch this one here. Continue. Patch this one. Again, not really sure if that's a good idea right now, but we will see later. And Sorry, continue running, and I have to turn on my fan because it's hot. So hope it's not too loud. And now we will just add the archive again, but before we do that, we will take a look at here and set a breakpoint on all commands to see if those even get accessed, because before we start to, I don't know, unravel all this strange assembly stuff, even if we have this one here, it's always nice to have not to read assembly, especially if it's not useful for us. So again, add misc ZBrush, add save to desktop, ISO file, this one, save. We end up here, and we have this one, jump grader, so it would jump now, obviously, because if we take a look at this value, yeah, so this value here, it compares a keyword. Can't really see the value right now because I'm lost. But that's where we would just just not this, so we don't jump over this. Right? Let's continue. We end up here again, jump lower or equal, so we just want to jump right here. Continue. And we end up here again, we end up here again, we end up here again. Let's disable this for now. Let's disable this one now as well. And we end up here. So we have this one, compares this. Not really sure what this instruction does, to be honest. Let's see. Conditional move, greater or less. Okay, so it's a conditional move. What's it? 13D is 3, and then we move. Okay. Right, that doesn't look too much like logic that would restrict that stuff. Let's just move this one again. And I'm not really sure if that worked. Do we have anything here? Doesn't look like it. Save again. Save. And we end up here. That's okay. So it seems like this call is obviously of interest. So save. Okay. So we have we compare RDI plus 50. Yeah, the value that's lost. RDI plus 50, which is the size probably. And to this one, conditional move. Greater is 0 flag. Moves data from source to destination, set E flags after comparing to registers. So we have 13D. Conditional move. So we will probably just change this conditional move because it's it will move R13D in EAX. So which means that it's a conditional move. So I will just change this to a move instruction. So it will always move it in there. Let's see if that works. So now we have an RAX3. Then we move, let's follow this one, the dump, and now it should have 3 at here. Not really sure what it's doing with it, to be honest. Looks pretty strange to me. This selection, that's also a nice thing you can do. What if we input let's save it again. And as you can see, you always have to try around. Even if you see where you're at, you don't always know what it does. So we will lower up this. Let's see if that's good. If that helps. And that looks good. Let's see if that works. If that finishes off correctly. Reload, and we have our now new ISO file. And it seems to work. Yeah, obviously it's opened here. So now we are happy with the changes we've made. Again, you will always have to do some trying around. Sometimes I'm not even really sure what an operation does. This help at the right often helps a lot, but sometimes the instructions are still confusing and there are so many of them, you can just search them up. I was too lazy right now, so I just used this help at the right and then just tried around. There were just 2 possibilities. So we just patch the file now. Patch file. And I will call this C1, which means right. Stop this. Can delete this. And then I will rename this to O for original. And this one here to the actual file. So this is our current crack. And we should see that it works now. So let's add a file. Risk ZBrush save as an ISO file in the desktop. And let's see if that works. And it looks good. So I will just stop it, please. I don't know, it's too dumb to break. Oh no, it can break. Nice. So I'll just remove this shit. Alright. So it seems like the message box isn't causing any problems right now. I don't know if it will in the future, but I don't really care right now. And about this shitty stuff here, not really sure if the patching via resource hacker will do the job, but why not try it out real quick? But yeah, that's the actual crack of the program. And I had some background knowledge, but actually the testing with the constant, the 12C00 something, that was really stuff you had to do. But else than that, there is not, it's really not that much. It's not protected at all. It's just, you can just play around, try some stuff out, and it should work in the end. But this is actually how you would crack the software. And again, I really don't want to show how to. This video isn't meant for people who want the software pirated. This video is for people who are interested on how stuff works and on how to really do cracks without just doing some strange, I don't know what, jump instruction patches they all do on YouTube as of now. So in help, let's scroll down, just interested, uh, check for after, enter registration code. Let's remove this one, order, then compile again. And now we don't have this. There's a separator again. This is a bit annoying. I don't really know how to remove them right now, to be honest. Let's just save this. Should save. Made an original. Let's see if this. Yeah, you can see it doesn't. It's still got the divider there, but I don't know. Probably another way to remove this. I won't get into that right now. But about this image, let's see if we can find anything interesting here. Let's remove the original. Okay. Let's see if we can find anything there. Should be somewhere an image. Not really sure, so we can just probably take a look at the icons used. I don't know if they used an icon or a bitmap. Let's see. Probably a bitmap. Whoops, too far. Can't find it right now. Yeah, I don't want to do this right now. It's too much. You can do that if you want, but that's actually how I would crack the software. Of course, you can. There are always a lot of ways. And again, I don't want to support piracy. I just wanted to show that and clear some things up. People don't on YouTube because YouTube just turned into I don't know. There's so much misinformation. It's incredible. So this hopefully enlightens a few people. And that's it.